Hi, this is Jim Roemer, Dr. Weather. I want to talk about the incredible flooding that's going on in China right now and the overall grain market, and how I predicted more than 1 to 2 months ago, this 10% break or more in both corn and soybeans, second guessing models, and not believing all these bogus La Nina forecasts. Will this flooding in China affect the grain market? Look at this right now. Unbelievable rains. They always have been disasters in China. But look at this. Oh my God. Behind my head in some key corn producing provinces like Henan province over the last few weeks from both typhoons and also just record rainfall that's really existed through June and July. Will this affect the grain market? So there has been some talk that China could increase demand for corn and soybeans, particularly from the flooding to corn growing areas, but that probably won't happen till after or during the U.S. harvest. And we'll talk about that, why, and make some comparisons as to what happened in 2013 with the grain market, the last time that China saw major flooding like this. So first of all, the majority of the soybean growing areas in China are mainly to the northeast of flooding. Yes, about 10 to 20% of croplands have been hurt by flooding and could reduce yields by at least 5 to 15%. The Chinese government may not even disclose this for several months, but north of the flooding areas where you see in white, unbelievable 500% normal rainfall or more, or dark blue, is the key growing areas in Heilongjiang. And that particular region has seen really excellent yields. Overall, it's very possible that China will not see anything really worse than a trendline yield for soybeans. And that's why the market has not really got excited about that too much here recently. For corn, it's probably a different story. There could be some more potential concerns, particularly with quality. And if the harvest continues to really go down here over the next month or two, that's possible. That could increase demand later on this year, but the market right now has really been focused on the U.S. crop, a record crop, and no hot, dry weather like many amateur meteorologists and other services have been predicting really for the last couple months. How does that flooding compare to the late summer bull market in 2013 that we did see, particularly in soybeans? Well, again, northeastern China was much more affected. The main 60-70% of the region back in 2013 that produces soybeans, much more flooding further north. And as a result, you can see pretty much what happened back then was a situation that we had kind of a bear market, like I've been predicting for the month of July in soybeans, but then hot, dry weather in the western corn belt in August, combined with all that flooding. Look at that, much further north there on the right, 5 to 10 inches of rain in July, another 5 to 10 inches of rain in August of 2013 in Heilongjiang, the northern growing areas. And as a result, we did see on the left this bull market in corn and also particularly soybeans. So will that happen again? I don't really think so. Yes, we have a big net short position. That's why on my spiders that became bearish about a month or so ago, about 10% higher than this in soybeans, is showing an anti-herd mentality of +4. What does that mean? When people are leaning heavily short, it's a bullish indicator. But all these different variables I look at, from the global crop score, bearish, -2, -3, to the temperature and moisture indices, to the technical analysis of the charts, has been relatively in the bearish to very bearish category, as I mentioned for the last month or so. One trade alone, like being short beans or long puts a month ago, could pay for my newsletter for several years based on everybody else being wrong and me keeping this overall bearish attitude. Now, how did I predict this back in April? Well, we looked at the atmospheric rivers, the incredible snows and storms, if you remember, last winter in California. We know that usually that does not represent La Nina forming anytime soon as El Nino conditions continued really into May and June for the most part. And we still have occasional El Nino conditions right now. And we looked at sea ice. We looked at all these different analogs from my climate predict program to say that, you know something, in about 70% of the cases, La Nina does not form based on what's happened the last few months with wild weather around the world and also record warm global ocean temperatures till after the summer. And even so, La Nina may only just be weak after November or December. We'll have to be monitoring this for our clients right now. So basically, I've been bearish corn and beans for quite a long time. There's my latest issue of Weather Well, if you want to get a free issue. Why I not predict all this hot, dry weather is because of that block you see over Alaska there. And I pretty much saw that 3 or 4 weeks ago. That would bring down cooler weather and actually help depress natural gas. Yeah, there's been some occasional heat around, but not really enough to create any bull market at this point. What else are we looking at right now? Sugar prices, we've been bearish on the Indian monsoon returning. A signal, yes, that El Nino has actually weakened. Coffee is very interesting. We are seeing global crop scores there, +3, very, very bullish in Brazil. And as a result of rains coming in the 10, 15 days from now, there may be an early bloom. We don't want to be seeing rains in August, folks, in Brazil coffee. We want to be seeing it later in September and October. An early bloom could make my spider here slightly in the bullish category. Other things like the seasonality slightly bearish at a -2. The economics are -2. You add all these scores together and you got a +3 score. Each one of my different criteria here go from -4, very bearish, to +4, very bullish. Add them all together. And this is how I help clients in Weather Wealth make decisions, whether to buy options, puts, sell calls, do spreads, things like that. We'll teach you how to trade all these agricultural markets. After all, folks, the weather's becoming so unbelievably extreme around the world. And as a result, there are opportunities to hedge crops at certain prices, or, of course, make money in the futures and options market. Please stay tuned. Get a 2-week free trial period of the Weather Wealth, and we'll tell you how we caught most of these multiple moves in markets over the last few months and what to do in the weeks and months ahead. Enjoy.